All right, welcome in. It is the Nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you as always by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get down to Dayton, Kentucky, Wednesday through Sunday. Tell them to pump it up, lunch and dinner. Save yourself 15%, or go to the app. They will bring it to you, direct to your house, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. So make that happen. Support our friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Look, Aaron, I'm gonna give you a secret here.
Go on.
We are recording right now at 12:11.
It's still the 11:28 Galactic Fried Chicken.
Right, but I'm gonna give you a secret. I just went and looked. 24/7 has not turned off the sale.
It's still going.
It is still
maybe it's running
75% off.
Maybe it's running Pacific time. Who knows?
They were supposed to turn it off at midnight. They have not turned it off. So if you are listening to this, go to BearcatJournal.com if you're not subscribed and get a full year of Bearcat Journal for $26. $2 a month. Like, you can do that. We can do this. So things have been really freaking depressing over the past the past 36 hours,
tonight,
7 hours, whatever it is.
Tonight's podcast was sad.
It was sad.
I've not ever had that energy from Ryan. It was sad.
Ryan was sad. Ryan was sad that Luke Fickell was no longer the coach of Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. Ryan Royer, if you don't know, Mr. Bearcat. He's on the Bearcat Bounce podcast with us every Monday night. The energy wasn't great. Mm-hmm. The information was really good. The conversation was good. There was a lot to it. But the energy was, this sucks. So we wanted to, on this nightcap that we're recording now at 12:13, we wanted to mix it up a little bit and have a little bit of fun. And one way we thought of having a little fun, let's have a two-person draft of the top 5 moments each.
We're going in number 5 to number 1, correct?
That's not how I plan to do it. That's not how a draft works. You draft.
No, but if you're going if you're going top 5 moments, you go number 5 and you crescendo to number 1.
But we're drafting.
Right? Yeah, but I want to.
But what if you draft number 5, something that I drafted like I want at number 3?
We already talked.
Start at the top.
We already talked about this. You said that it doesn't
matter.
Sauce
Gardner was not drafted at the bottom.
I promise you that's not on my top 5 because it was not a moment for me. That is, these are very personal moments to me. We're not going to have the same.
I don't think you know how a draft works.
I think we crescendo.
But that's not how a draft works.
No,
we
but
agreed to do a draft.
Top 5 moments work like this, right?
Well, then just do your top 5 moments then.
All right. I'm going to go first, and then you can do.
You're going to do all 5 now because we're not going to draft. You got 5 moments. Give me your 5 moments, Aaron.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now. You ruined the whole thing.
Fine.
Because you don't understand what a draft is. You ruined the whole thing.
Fine.
Go.
Number 5. Camp Higher Ground. My first Camp Higher Ground was with Coach Luke Fickell. I got to be there and be amongst the staff and be amongst the people and be amongst everyone. And there was a point in time where Coach Fickell, I realized that Camp Higher Ground, Coach Fickell knew who I was. And that was weird and awesome and exciting and scary all at the same time. But
what about the fire?
That wasn't necessarily to do with Coach Luke Fickell, but I didn't know they had tiki torches on the forklifts. So I did tell
Ryan Coslin.
Yeah. I told Kaz that there was a fire on the forklift because I didn't know that was a thing. And sure enough, they had tiki torches up there. But I thought something was burning, and that was a big flame. In all fairness,
just a tiki torch, dude.
But I was like, "There's a fire on the forklift." I'm also in my head running through Brian Kelly scenarios where things happen on forklifts. So I'm scared for everyone. But
oh boy, what's number 4?
Number 4, Subathon. Luke Fickell.
Subathon was great. Yeah,
Luke Fickell popping in from Cancun with the staff in the background. and I think you could hear the staff actually
Oh,
during
they
that
were
interview.
playing a game of some
volleyball.
kind.
It was volleyball.
Yeah.
But you could hear them. He took time out from his time in Cancun to be with us in what has launched this entire thing in our YouTube space.
On the YouTube, yeah, we wouldn't be monetized. Like, we would probably finally be monetized by now, but we got monetized that day.
Correct.
We were at like 300 members. That we got 700 members that day.
It was we got that was
wild.
a wild and crazy day.
And Luke was early in the process of our
Yes.
15-hour subathon.
Yes,
it was awesome.
But he took time out for some knuckleheads like you and I doing what we're doing, and again, this goes back to, you know, Luke knowing who I am and having some respect for what I do with you, and
yeah,
it was pretty awesome.
For sure.
Number 3, Luke Fickell in Las Vegas, joining us.
Our draft show, our live draft show.
Joining us from the Bellagio.
Walking to the jet.
Walking through with Brady to the jet to go home after the draft.
No. They weren't going home. They were walking Sauce to the plane as he was getting ready to fly to New York.
Oh,
they weren't going to get on their private jet.
Sauce was not with them. But
no, he was, but he wasn't in the picture. He was.
Oh, all right. Well, fair enough. Regardless.
Yeah.
That was an awesome moment. One of my...
So, a little backstory on that. I was texting with Brady for like 20 minutes. 20 to 30 minutes to try to get him. Look, man, I need 90 seconds. Can you come on the show for 90 seconds? And he sent me a picture. He's like, we are at this... They were at this high-end steakhouse with Sauce, his family,
agents.
He's sending me pictures of like their food. He's like, I can't sit here at this table and do this like screw around with you guys while I'm at this steakhouse with Sauce. And then as soon as they were out in the hallway of the Bellagio, walking towards going towards to go to the plane, they texted us, and it was, or they chimed in with us, and it was amazing. It was amazing.
60 seconds of awesome, whatever, or however long it was.
Right.
Number 2.
Okay.
And this was a hard one for me to decide between number 2 and number 1, but I went with number 2 being the Cotton Bowl. You got to the playoff. You got to unprecedented heights. Yeah. And you made it. It was a moment for me down there, and we talked about this off air before we even did this show, where I was recognized by people as they're waiting in line to go into the stadium, where people are Aaron, and like just that whole experience was surreal. Being down there with you, like my second year in, and I'm getting to go to the college football playoff, the school that I've loved for my entire life, even when I was attending another school. It was pretty amazing and just awesome for me personally. But we couldn't have done that without Luke Fickell and putting together the team that he put together and doing the things that he did that year. And this all brings me to number 1, which is winning the AAC championship in Nippert night.
Yeah.
Where the cell phones out was maybe the most crazy portion of that entire night. Where you're just sitting there, like, I mean, I come down every fourth quarter and I'm sitting there and taking it all in, and it's a moment that I can't describe, and it brought me close with my dad in that moment, and I wrote about that, and that was, one of my favorite moments at Bearcat Journal, actually writing that article about like the connection me and my dad had and all that, and I don't know, that's probably my number 1 moment for lots of reasons that I'll never be able to correctly put into words. So,
well, I mean, I was thinking like, what are your favorite moments on the field of the Luke Fickell era? So you totally screwed me here.
Well, I told you they were going to be very interpersonal.
Mine are a little less interpersonal. I'll start, if you want an interpersonal one, I'll start with the the game at Marshall. I don't even 19. I think it was 2019.
That's not Luke, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Luke.
Yeah, that's Luke.
Yeah, it was Luke. Remember late in the game, Ben Bryant threw a bomb to Trey Tucker that was like 2 yards short of a touchdown that he just like landed and didn't quite make it. So I went to Marshall, I'm sure as all of you know, and that was kind of my return to Marshall. I hadn't been back down there in a long time. Obviously, got married, had a kid, started doing all this. Like there wasn't a lot of time on Saturdays to head back down to Marshall for a game. So I went back down there, went with my dad, got down there and had a chance to have my dad on the field with me as I'm running around and taking pictures and doing my, typical on-field game, just kind of meandering. And each time I'd come back, my dad would be like, my dad had the Bearcat Journal, the old Bearcat Journal with the black with like the red stripes. He still wears it.
He still wears it.
He still wears it.
He still wears it.
And he had one of the first like BCJ hoodies. And I guess a bunch of people kept coming up to him like, Bearcat Journal? And he's like, my son, And it was like the ride home, he was like, we were just, we didn't, I don't even think we had like the radio on. We were just talking the entire 2.5 hours home. And he's like, yeah, it was, like a bunch of people kept coming up to me and being like, you're a Bearcat Journal? And he's like, no, my son, like, he's over there taking pictures or whatever. But like, I think he had a really awesome like experience, like realizing like, oh shit, like this thing's finally, at that point in time, I had been doing this for like 10 years. Nobody had ever come up to him and been like, you're the Bearcat Journal? So it was like the first real time that like it felt like this thing was taking off.
And in 19, that's a credit to Luke, where the program was also taking off together with Bearcat Journal. So
I'm going to go some more on the field stuff here. Number 4, how can you not put what happened at UCLA on your list?
That's a good one.
Because not only like what happened on the field and they won, that was the first Dave After Dark.
Also, Desmond Ritter's coming out party.
That was the first, but Aaron, that was the first Dave After Dark, where Dave was drunk as shit when we did that live, show.
Shocker.
Right? Like it was, it was 11:30, 12 o'clock at night by the time that game ended. And Dave was wasted. And he was like, you want to do it live? And I'm like, back then, 2018, doing one of these wasn't
a thing.
Right. So it took, I think actually, I don't even think it was live. I think we just recorded it and then posted the audio after we recorded it. And it became like the notorious first ever Dave After Dark.
Legendary.
I got a great story for you from the Military Bowl. So if you remember, it rained like hell that day, which would be the Boston College Military Bowl game.
Yeah.
It rained like hell. And like my feet were a disaster. Like, you've taken me off the rails on this whole like top 5 thing because I was going to go game stuff. We're now not doing game stuff. We're now at number 3. I have no clue what number 2 or number 1 is, but I'm at number 3.
I'm sorry. I went personal.
I know. So now I got it.
I warned you.
So we're getting towards the end of the game and my phone is dying. I actually spent a ton of time in that tailgate. It was the first time I had ever really got to spend time with Greg, Alec Pierce's mom and dad.
Okay.
We hung out in the parking lot for a while and like went into the game. It was gross. It rained the whole game. So my phone is dead. My phone dies. And the last thing I did on my phone was tell Kelly, because Kelly and Kelsey were there, but they didn't come to the game. They were just in Annapolis, in a place they'd never been before.
Oh, no.
So I said, meet me where you drop me off, which was like out, like right on the edge of the parking lots, like on the edge of the tailgating.
At least you sent that message.
Well, it's raining and it's cold, and I'm standing at the stop sign, and I can't communicate with the outside world because my phone is dead, and I'm waiting for Kelly to show up, and she didn't understand pick me up where you drop me off. She understood pick me up at the stadium. So they were driving around a circle around the stadium for an hour.
Oh no.
While I was sitting by the stop sign. My feet were so wet, Aaron, I lost my big toenail a week later.
That's one of your top 3 memories?
Oh, yeah. It's just like it's a story, right?
Okay.
Like it's not I don't think of it. I laugh at it now because like there was a win. It was a great bowl game. I actually, after the game.
Go ahead.
After the game, we had a great interview with Garrett Campbell and Cortez Broughton. Like the content stuff we did was awesome that day. And then there's just me like soaking wet, standing by a stop sign, like almost losing a toe as Kelly drove around the stadium. And I couldn't call her to be like, I'm at the stop sign where you dropped me off.
I was just going to say, insert Sauce Gardner, UCF pick here.
Right. Number 2, it would be that UCF game.
There it is.
Because that night, it just felt different at Nippert Stadium. Like it felt like UCF kicked their ass with game day in town at the Bounce House in 2018. 2019, it was like Nip at night, all black, didn't know what was going to happen. And you know the story, right? I leaned to the person next to me 1 second before the snap.
I even know who that person was.
And said pick 6. And they looked at me like, you're fucking crazy.
How's Detroit?
And then the snap happened, pick 6. And you can see me, if you watch closely on the highlight, you will see me give it one of these. As soon as the ball was thrown right where Sauce snatched it and ran into the end zone. You can see it. One of these. Number 1, I will again go with you to AAC Championship night.
Over the Cotton Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, the Cotton Bowl was great, but like,
For me, it was my first bowl game experience.
Yeah, I mean, the experience. Jerry World was amazing.
Amazing. The food,
amazing place.
Absurd.
The mac and cheese was otherworldly.
The nacho bar,
like all of it was great.
After lunch,
right? The halftime nacho bar. Yeah. All of it was great. Like I don't have any like ill will towards the Cotton Bowl, but that night at Nippert,
how could you?
It was great. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
But that night at Nippert that they won the AAC championship game.
I want that to be the memory that I have when I look back at the Luke Fickell era.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, actually, I'm going to change it, Aaron. Squat Fest.
That's not a Luke Fickell thing.
No, time out.
When he was there. Luke was there. The one he was there.
And the Houston game, the AAC championship game, was on the TV in Brady's office.
Running. Okay.
Running. It was on ESPNU or whatever. No. It was on TV.
Oh, that just happened to be a thing. Shut up. No, I thought that he just had that running on loop.
No, it just happened.
No.
I
don't believe that. I don't believe
it wasn't on afterwards. There was something else that came on.
Then he just doesn't have his TiVo set correctly.
Okay, whatever. I don't care. Either way, we're standing outside the window of Brady Collins' office, and they go into. They're running off the field at halftime, and it was it was a 1-point game, or I can't remember the exact halftime score.
I can't even.
But whatever it was, I look at Luke and I go, "You guys better get their shit together in the second half." And he looks at me and he goes, "I think the coaches will make some adjustments." And I was like, "They better hope so." And he was like, "I'll see you in the fourth quarter." That's you had the exchange with him that same day at Spot Fest.
That was my OLI, was outside
Yeah.
looking in, is you can't have that in here. As I walk in with a Monster or what coffee or whatever it was, and he's like, you gotta get that out of here. You can't have that in here. I'm like, I'm sorry, drink it, throw it away. He's like, I was just messing with you. And I'm like, still sorry. I don't know how to deal with you. I gotta go.
Look, everybody's got their opinions right now. Emotions are high. There's a lot that happened. There's a lot, we talked about it on the BBP. There's a lot that I'm not comfortable with that happened over the past couple weeks. But the reality is, man, 6 years, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of great memories and moments. And I'm glad you took us in a different direction. I wanted to go on-field stuff. You wanted to go more personal stuff. I trended towards you. And I think the show was better for it. I'll miss the guy.
I will also miss the guy.
Good luck to him. I probably won't be watching. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken. See you next time right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.